Hello, today I'm going to be checking out the latest case from Lian Li. This is the Lancool 217 and it's available from today with an MSRP of $199.99 for the black version that I've got here, and the white version will cost you an extra $5. So Lian Li described this case as having the same CPU cooling potential as the Lancool 216 and the same GPU cooling potential as the Lancool 207. So is this worth your hard-earned money? Let's dive in and take a closer look. So the tempered glass side panel can be simply tilted out from the back and lifted up and away, and our other side panel is removed in exactly the same way. You'll notice the bottom of our steel side panel is perforated, and this is to provide a source of airflow for our bottom mounted fans. You'll notice that there's quite a bit of wood on the Lancool 217, and it's all the way around our front panel and also on our top panel as well. In terms of our side I/O, we've got a power button, we've got a combined headphone and microphone jack, we've got two USB Type A ports and a single Type C port. We've also got a second power button on the top of the case, so no matter whether you want your PC on the desk or on the floor, you should have easy access to a power button. Our top panel can simply be pulled off from the top, and beneath it we've got a removable fan stroke radiator bracket, where you're going to be able to mount up to 3 120 or 2 140mm fans. And in terms of radiator support, it's up to a 360mm radiator with a thickness of 85mm, or a 280mm radiator with a thickness of up to 60mm at the top. And installing your fans and radiators at the top is going to be really straightforward with a removable bracket. Our mesh front panel can simply be pulled off from the front. Out of the box there's no dust filter behind it, but in the case accessory box there is an optional dust filter which can easily be installed. You can see at the front that Lian Li have installed two 170mm fans. It is possible to adjust the position of these fans. Out of the box they're set up for combined CPU and GPU cooling. But if you're rather focused on CPU cooling, it is possible to move both the fans up towards the top of the case and move the plastic covers down towards the bottom. Moving the fans is really straightforward. There's enough length on the cables and you've got little rubber mounts at the back which simply slot into the holes in the front panel. If you'd rather go with 120, 140mm fans at the front, there is two brackets that come in the case accessory box which can be easily installed, allowing you to do this. At the rear of the case we've got a 140mm non-ARGB PWM fan pre-installed, and our two final case fans are at the bottom of the case. They are reverse blade non-ARGB PWM fans set to intake, will be bringing plenty of cooler into your graphics card. It is also possible to add a third 120mm fan at the bottom, and the fans are mounted using screws and rubber pads similar to the fans on the front of the case. In terms of motherboard support, it's absolutely massive, up to a maximum width of 330mm. So you are going to be able to fit large server motherboards in this case. You can see we've got additional cutouts for back connector ATX and micro ATX motherboards, and if you want to go with the CPR cooler, the maximum height supported is up to 180mm. If you are wanting to go with an ATX motherboard in this case, you are going to have to rotate the cable cover bracket over to the right hand side of the motherboard round, moving the rubber grommets and the GPU support bracket further towards the front of the case. And in this position you're going to be able to fit motherboards up to a maximum width of 280mm. If you want to go with a larger motherboard than this, you are actually just going to need to remove this bracket altogether. You can see at the rear of the case we've got 7 horizontal PCI expansion slot brackets, and in terms of graphics card support, the maximum length supported is up to 380mm. And Lian Li are keen to make sure your graphics card is well supported with the included GPU support bracket on the cable cover bracket. If you prefer to mount your graphics card vertically, the expansion slot brackets at the back are rotatable. And you're also going to need to remove the two reverse split fans installed at the bottom into that bottom compartment. So the only thing you're going to have to pick up to install your graphics card vertically is a riser cable. Your power supply can be mounted in two different orientations. Out of the box, it's designed to have your power supply's I/O facing towards the side, meaning it's going to be really straightforward to plug any cables into your power supply. And Lian Li include a cable extension to go into your power supply, with the other end of the cable extension coming out at the rear of the case. In this orientation, the case is compatible with full-size ATX power supplies up to a maximum length of 180mm. If you'd rather mount your power supply in the traditional orientation, you simply need to remove the panel from the back of the case and moving it to the side, meaning that you are going to be able to screw your power supply in from the back without needing to use the extension cable. In this orientation, the case is compatible with ATX power supplies up to a maximum length of 220mm. The only downsides being that you're only able to fit one of the hard drive cages in at the bottom of the power supply in this orientation. And as well, you're not able to move the reverse blade fans down to the bottom of the case with your power supply in this orientation. Taking a look in from the other side, cable management looks like it should be really good. We've got lots of Velcro cable straps, and at the rear of the case we've got rows of plastic clips for managing your cables. At the top of the case, we've got a 6-port PWM hub and our 5 pre-installed case fans are already connected up. Despite none of the fans having ARGB on it, this hub also has 4 ARGB ports, and the hub is going to work with motherboard control for both PWM and ARGB. We've got 2 dedicated 2.5-inch drive mounting brackets behind the motherboard. If you do want to go with a micro ATX motherboard with back connectors, you're only actually going to be able to install one of the drive brackets behind the motherboard, and you're going to have to install it on its side. If you're not planning on mounting your graphics card vertically or adding a third fan at the bottom of the case, it is possible to mount a third 2.5-inch drive in the main compartment. The case comes with 2 hard drive cages. In the drive tray itself, you're able to mount a 2.5-inch drive beneath the drive tray, as well as a 3.5-inch drive in the drive tray itself. Then on top of each of the drive cages, you can mount either a 2.5-inch or a 3.5-inch drive. So as long as you're installing your power supply with the I/O facing towards the side, you're going to be able to fit 2 drive cages at the bottom of the case. So what I want to do now is give you a closer look at the build I put together in the case. So in terms of our temperatures, our Ryzen 7 9700X idled at 39 degrees and reached a maximum of 64 degrees during a 10-minute IDA64 stability test. The MSI 5080 Vanguard idled at 29 degrees and reached a maximum of 60 degrees under load. In terms of noise, we had average noise levels of 35 decibels at idle and 44 decibels under load. So in terms of building the case, this was a really straightforward case to build in. I think a large part of that is it's a reasonably large case. The top panel comes off, giving you really good access to the build, and Lian Li have done all the hard work for you, installing 5 of the case fans and connecting up to a fan and ARGB hub, and cable management at the back was absolutely brilliant. So moving on to the things I like about the case, so for less than $120, you're getting a case that comes with 5 good PWM fans, you've got a built-in fan and ARGB hub, and you've got a reasonably good looking case with exceptional build quality and a whole variety of different options about how you can build in it. So you're getting incredible value for money. In terms of the things I didn't like about the case, it's really hard to fault this case, but there was just a couple of things. The front panel USB Type-A cable had text on it, and this was visible when you looked into the build. And I know from an airflow point of view, it doesn't make any sense to have a third 120mm fan at the bottom. From an aesthetics point of view, I think it would have made the case look more balanced. So now we come on to the stage in the review round to tell you should you go out and pick up this case. So if you are looking for a reasonably large case that can accommodate modern hardware, that gives you really good cooling and low noise levels out of the box, and a really simple building experience, but a whole variety of options if you want to take them, then Lian Li have definitely got you covered with the Lancool 217. So certainly over the last year or so, it's got much more common that manufacturers are adding a little bit of wood to the case. If you like wood, then this may well be the case for you. If, like me, you're getting a little bit sick of the wooden theme, you're going to have to give this case a miss because it doesn't come in a version without wood. Both the black and white have wood in it somewhere, and I would love to have seen this case in an all black version, but maybe in the future this is something Lian Li will do. If you are thinking of doing a build in the Lancool 217, I have made a full step-by-step build guide which takes you in great detail showing you all the different options you have in this case. It took me about 3 hours to film the case and an hour and a half to film the build, so it shows you all the options that are actually available in the case. I'll put a link to that video in the description, and if you have enjoyed this review, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well.